That scared me. What's going on? Yes. Happy Wednesday, and see Vondi, but we'll get started with the markets shortly. And how's everything going, Tracker?
Pretty good. It was a fun show last night. I enjoyed it. I'm sorry I got a little tired towards the middle of it. I just, you and me both, we talked about it. We got up super early yesterday morning for some reason. And yeah, the Starship launch, they got a lot of data out of it. They couldn't get the pod bay doors did not open, so they weren't able to deploy the satellites. DXYZ is back down to right on top of the 3.2 again. Or it's a 3.2 retracement. It's between the 236 and the 3.2 extensions. That's fine. I'll just hang on to it. But yeah, I'm excited to look at some stuff. I kind of feel like maybe we could be getting back into risk on again. Some
Yeah,
stuff definitely had it yesterday. We had like a lot of divergences, but some things go up, some things go down. But we got a lot of earnings today too, right? Like Nvidia, for example.
Yeah, Nvidia earnings today.
Yeah. And what already Abercrombie and Fitch is up 20%, and there's a bunch of good earnings coming in, so people are getting excited.
Yeah, we can check it all out. So let's start off with the SPY, and still same range as the past couple of weeks in a row, and we are approaching maybe the top end of the range a little bit. So I'll be watching to see if we can make a higher high. Right, so 595.54 was last week's high for the SPY. If it can break out and make a higher high, then yeah, we can probably continue towards all-time high territory. But if we keep getting rejected and stay in the same range, then it's just basically the same range as the last 2 weeks, and there's really no change so far. So our weekly support is going to be around that 585 or down towards the cloud in the 570s for the SPY. And the QQQ, it is also in the same range as the last 2 weeks. It's just in the top end of that range, and it is approaching the wick of last week's candle, and that is 523. So I will also be trying to look for a higher high weekly candle close, not just another wick above, but a candle body close above it in order to confirm it really wants to go towards the 539, 540 above. And if not, it's just still in the same range as the last 2 weeks. It is just floating above all the support there. So technically, could it go back down and retest it? Yes, it could. With ease, right? Just a back test. So we'll see if that ever happens. But in the meantime, it's challenging last week's high. So watch 523 to see if it can actually get above by Friday. IWM, this is trying to get back above the baseline again, and that is 207.41. But it's also within the same range as last week. Not so low in the range, but it is stabilizing on top of that 205 level. So I'll be watching that for support, and getting back above the baseline by Friday would be a good development. So closing above 207.41 would probably lead to continuation towards the 213, 214 zone above, which I showed last night is a big weekly resistance zone as well. So just take it one step at a time. But so far, all supports have been reclaimed. Things are looking better and better. And we can even look at Bitcoin development. And I showed this last night too, the chart. It's really just stuck in a range, broke out of a level right here, 105.5, and the resistance up here, 110, 111 of the arc. So I think it could just stay in this little wedge for some time if it wanted to before trying to break out. But most of the crypto market is starting to look like this, right? It broke out of a range and it's building a base at a higher level. And that includes altcoins, Ethereum, a lot of them. They're doing the same thing. So this is something that's really exciting. And I think we could start to see some acceleration to the upside after this little consolidation period is finished, whenever that will be. But I'm just focused on staying above 105.5 for Bitcoin.
That looks fantastic. Let's see. Oh, I heard there's an announcement. Market Maestro said this morning that GameStop bought, let's see, 4.7 Bitcoin. Is that right?
Yeah, 4.7. 4,700.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Market Maestro is from Turkey, I hear. So they use the periods instead of the commas out there. So it's actually 4,710 Bitcoin that GameStop bought. And yeah. And just out of curiosity, I'll show you my GME chart, which just says, at minimum, because I'm kind of going back to the looking at minimums and stuff, I think it'll go to like $43 here, Chart load. Load. There we go. $44.32 is the 382 next. It's already gotten over the 236. You can see a teeny tiny little test back right there, and then it's going higher again. So yeah, I think it's going to go to at minimum $44.33 next. You know, if it wanted to go crazy, maybe $60.86 or even $71.09. You can see the sell order block just covers the whole thing up there. They don't know what they could do. People are going all over the place. But at minimum, like another 23% higher to 44.33. Not 44.33. Let's. Tesla. I just posted before the show. I'm ready to say that in regards to this set of fibs, and I posted my coordinates too, so people with TradingView can put the exact same fibs on their chart. From the 101 low to the 488 all-time high, the 214.25 higher low are these fib extensions. And right now, I thought it would go to the 382, get rejected, come back to the 23.6, which is this red arrow, but it's on top of it. And as long as it stays on top of it, then the tendency for Tesla is to want to go to the 764. And then after it goes to the 764, like maybe it goes to like 509 this summer. And then like afterwards, then it comes back down to the 382 and tests it as support. Like it's trying to turn this into support now to support, and then goes to the 1382 after that. The 1382 is way up here at $748.71. So, I think the downside is, where'd my thing go? 16% versus an upside, it goes up 40% to you. I think I might buy some regular shares and just stick in my pocket and stop trading TSL because it gets frustrating. Or tiring, really, not frustrating, tiring going in and out of it. There you go, Tesla. And I don't think I've got anything new to say about Bitcoin, other than my charts kind of agree with Matt's a lot. And yeah, if 10, what was it? I can't find anymore. I think something about his 105 as support holds true to me. And then the way the fibs go after that, the next target's like 1 goes to the 1618, back to the 123.6, 121. And then I'm prepared to say it could melt up to the 261.8%. That would take it over 200,000 to 202, 246. This cycle, which I don't know if this is December or if that's December, but probably that's December, and might be 2026. Anyway, there we go. Bitcoin.
Yeah, I just wanted to point out something with GME on
the
fib chart too.
If you want, yeah, go ahead.
And it's finally breaking above the 50% level for the first time since it tried back in June of 2024. So this is kind of a big deal. And if we just go to the left, it was a big resistance back in January of 2025, back in October 2022. Big support zone before too, back in 2021, tried to be a support. So this 50% is actually pretty important, guys. So I'll be watching that, like 34.66, basically close the week above it. Then it can have the potential to continue to build a base and go higher. But we do need to be mindful of this top of the Ichimoku cloud is coming up soon. And that could be a little bit of a damper in things. And that's right around 37.52. So just going to be watching those two things. But this is looking like a nice little breakout above resistance here. So I'll be watching that 34.66 level throughout the rest of the week. And I do see a request for UNH. So I will talk about that. I just saw.
All right, I've got my UNH
from
yours.
Yeah, I just saw a post from the Long Invest saying it's undervalued and Palantir is overvalued. I don't know why people are talking about valuation when they're looking at these charts, when they're telling you a story. And this story is telling me that this 618 is really turning into a resistance. So week after week, it's really battling it and not really closing above. So this is something that we got to watch. the 298.24. So if this cannot get reclaimed on a week-to-week basis, then you know what? It's probably going to head lower, maybe even to the 269, maybe even the 243, or maybe just maybe it might even want to gravitate towards the 200-month moving average, because the last time it went under the Ichimoku cloud, the monthly Ichimoku cloud, it hit the 200-month moving average right down here. So we got to put that in the back of our mind. There's only been a few occasions on this chart where it dipped below the monthly Ichimoku, and it was a multi-year bear market, sideways and down. So this could be the same kind of situation, sideways and down for a while. So until the chart proves it wants to get a little bit more healthy, a little bit more bullish, then I think something you got to avoid, really. I think the clue for me was, if I just take off all the indicators on my GANN chart here, it was hitting this blue level the whole time, right? The whole time it was kind of a resistance. It did try to break above, but I think the real big clue was this big bearish engulfing back below the arc, back below the blue level here, and that was the time to just run away right there, when it just got back below the arc and the blue level. So it's a little bit too late to run away right now. I think either way, the max pain scenario could be that 200-month moving average for this chart, which is basically right down here at 222. So it's, I mean, yeah, it is kind of far from current price, but I think that would probably be the max pain scenario. But I'm watching one level at a time as usual. So 298.24, if it can close the month in a couple of days above it, then great. Then it can maybe start to build a base and maybe try to go back up to the 340s and 370s. But if it closes the month and more weeks below this 298, then I would prepare for more pain. That's basically how I would say it. And there is 2 days, 8 hours left until the monthly candle close. So we'll just take it 1 day, 1 week, 1 month at a time with this chart for me. Go ahead, Tracker.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got my UNH chart as well. The key number here, I think, is $300.08. It needs to get 4% mini boss. It made like a good show of it, but then it fell short of the 23.6, and then fell back then under. Now it's stuck right under 11.4. If this can't get over $300.08, it's probably going to go lower. So get out. If it does get over the $300.08, then it will make another attempt at the 23.6 here at 354.87, which would be 20% higher from now.
Yeah, it has a chance for a mean reversion here, so I wouldn't really be too depressed just yet, but it's not looking so healthy just yet.
Yeah. Just because everyone's in the media is talking about it on CNBC doesn't mean that you have to trade it. In fact, it's probably better to stay away from those.
Exactly.
Here's Serve Robotics.
Yeah, it broke down.
I don't watch CNBC, so I don't have to talk about it. Yeah. Serve Robotics, off of my big 1-2, is approaching the 38.2% fib, which would be great. Let's see if it can turn it into support and go higher. It tested at 23.6. Let's see, the potential downside is if it did go down to test the 23.6 again, that's down 23. Ooh, let's say it could go to the 764. That's 68% higher. If it can, it just needs to get over. This high is in the way. It has to get over $13.11. Flip it to support, and then it can go higher. So watch 1843 for the 61.8, and if that's resistant to the 23.6 at 981. But if it gets to the 764 at 2173, then where it is right now, 38.20 becomes support after that. So yeah, Serve looks pretty good for 70% if it goes up there. All right, that's that one. High risk, high reward. We talked about AMD a lot. I think 140. No, what's my magic number? 142. It's headed for 142. So from where last time it was going to be 24% improvement, now there's 22.7%. It's kind of moving. Yeah, it's just got to get over 116.76, 2.6, turn it into support, and it can test the 38.2 next at 141.98, or 22% higher. Dash. can't remember if I've done Dash before.
Yeah, I got
Okay.
a Dash chart ready right now.
Okay, you go ahead.
Yeah.
I do
All
not.
right. So DoorDash. Just one thing I want to show is the monthly chart here, and between the two fibs, between the 886 and the 786, it's looking like a giant cup and maybe start of a handle here. So this is looking like it does want to eventually break out, but still stuck under resistance here, 208.87. So once it breaks above, if it closes a monthly candle above it, then I think it's going towards all-time highs again. But this is a big resistance zone, and basically no monthly candle has ever closed above this 208.87. If you just look in the past, there's been zero that closed above it. So it's a big resistance. So we'll see if it can do it anytime soon. But if it can't, then it might need to go back down to the 173.98 first before trying to break higher. So that's the only observation for me for DoorDash.
My observation for Dash is it's kind of boring. Like if it goes to the 141.4, it's just 18%. That's not very much. So, there's better charts out there. We got better ones. Maybe I should show you guys one. Let me show you something that I've been talking about with my subscribers just this morning. Joby Aviation looks like it is gonna rock and roll here. Fill in. So after I gotta kind of fix this a little bit. It made this higher. I'm sorry, higher low. This is my wave 2 bottom here, and now we're in wave 3. It got to the 382, tested back to the 236, and now we're back above the 382 next, which means my next target is the 1236 up here, 1255, which from our price is right in 62% higher to the 123.6 fib. So there you go, Joby Aviation. This gets me more excited. 60% increase. So I bought a bunch of this in pre-market, and I'll buy even more after the regular market opens if it could just come back down and touch 726 one more time. That'd be. Otherwise, it's gonna off we go. CPNG, is that Coupang?
Yeah,
Coupang
I think so.
Incorporated. Let's do 8-hour chart. All right, this one's already gotten above. It's 23.6 and it's headed to 382. So the next target for me is 3191. And if it can get it over it, then it can try out like a 618 up here at 46. Otherwise, it just goes back to the 236 for support testing again. So look for 11% higher, almost 12% higher. And then if it gets rejected, it goes back to the 236 down 20. But if it turns into support, then the next level higher is a 618 up here, 44% higher. So 12 now, maybe 45 later. Just watch the turns here at $31.91. And then I could keep going. I've got a bunch of these I got charts on. Big Bear AI is a play that I was doing. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Now I was going to do
Oh,
BBAI
okay.
too, but you can go first.
Okay, Big Bear AI was under its beat the 11.4% fib loss, got above the 236. I thought maybe it would test back down here to like the $4 range, 4 to 3.5. It hasn't. It's back above the 236. So I think it might just be ready to go on. So my next target is 1. Possibly if it does a retrace to the 38.2, it could even go to 652, which is why I've got 652 possible. I'm looking at my fib extensions on the right and the retraces on the left. So a 382, 236 would be 652, 425, but my impulsive says 591, then 455. So there you go. Oh, that's gosh, it was 62% higher. Now it's 27% left on the meat on the bone here. All right, back to you, Matt.
Yeah, so my BBAI, I was watching this for my Patreon people, and I told them like, yeah, once it gapped up and opened up above the 200-week moving average, that is probably going to gravitate towards this 618 fib above at 453, and that's exactly what it did. So now it's kind of trying to break above that. So we're going to watch this for a weekly kind of close on Friday, see if it can actually close above that 453, and that is a big resistance in the past. You can see back in December and November of last year, or even January of this year, it was a big resistance before it kind of broke out. So we're kind of back there. So it could just turn into a wick and maybe close back below on Friday. So going to be watching that 453 level specifically, but the breakout above the 200 is key for a nice little trend change, right? It's no longer stuck underneath it. So I think it can start to gravitate higher, but the first step, close a week above 453. And I did have Redwire 2 RWD, or is that RDW? Is that what it was?
RDW. Yeah.
Yeah, RDW. Yeah. Just
Redwire.
making sure I'm not being dyslexic. We'll see here 1698. That's the level I'm watching for the next resistance. That is the previous high set back in 2021, and it's got to break above, right? This has the potential to do it, but so far it's just getting closer and closer to that number. And when we put on the Ichimoku Cloud 2, you can see the baseline is getting in the way of that before that previous high. So we got 1664, we got 1698 as the next big resistance zone. But after touching the cloud down here perfectly and that 618 fib, it just bounced and did like a V bottom out of there. So I think a lot of the big move has already been made from the recovery. So we just got to wait and see if this can break that resistance. But if it can't, it might need to go back down maybe to the 13 zone first before breaking higher.
Redwire. I've got Elf Beauty here before the earnings. What does it say? No, it doesn't tell me right yet. But yeah, earnings is supposed to be today. So yeah, Elf Beauty, it got over the 11.4 boss, and it's headed for the 23.6. So either this just goes to 99.97 and then sort of sticks there for a little bit, or I don't know, if they blow things out, then maybe it'll go up to the 38.2 at 131.38. So where price was last time, it was 53% higher. Now we are at 43% higher, 43% higher to get to the 382 at 131.38. After that, it would be highly likely that it would do a test back to the 23.6 at $100. So be sure and get out near 131, or at least take half of your position out. If it kept going, the 618 is at 182 and the 764 is at 213.56, but that would like take it right back to its all-time high. I don't think it's going to do that in one earnings report. There you go, Elf Beauty. SMLR.
All right.
Similar sign.
Yeah, I got SMLR on my chart.
Okay.
Let's see here. Yeah, SMLR, similar scientific. It nailed the 200-week moving average, my purple line there, and this angle right up top. So we got this angle that got rejected, and last week it hit the the bottom of the Ichimoku cloud. So we nailed it, right? Nailed resistance perfectly, and now it's stuck in a range. So SMLR is one of these stocks that actually gave people almost a couple of months to accumulate at this 236 fib, right? Just week after week after week after week after week. It was just bouncing off the bottom there. So I know people don't like to buy that because they think it's always going to go lower, but that's usually the best time. And then price just skyrocketed right up towards the 200-week moving average and the angle and the everything else. So now we're in a range, and I'm watching this 42.34 to try to maintain support. So far it is. So it's good, right? We can maybe see if it can build a base on top of this new fib level, right? Because it held the 236 perfectly. Now, if it can hold this 42.34 at the 382 perfectly, then I think it can start to break all the resistance above. But it might take some time to do that. And it might even need to retest the 50-week and the conversion line down below, maybe at $40. So we'll see if that's going to be necessary or not. But a nice big move has already been made. And I think it is going to go higher in the future, but it might just stay sideways or go a little bit down first before trying to break all that resistance above.
Yeah, I'd say with Similar Scientific, it's at my 23.6% fib now. after not quite getting the 382, it might bounce around between 51.68 and 43.23. It could get some market symmetry. No, it already kind of did it already. Yeah, look for 51.68 as the next test higher, which would be about 18% higher to 51.68. And then maybe it comes back to 43.26 again, or it just keeps going. I don't know. Anyway, that's my next target, 51.68. Let's see. It's so funny. Everyone says GM for good morning, and I keep thinking that they want the GM.
I've done that many times too. I see somebody typing something.
GM's crap all.
Like in one of my private live streams, somebody typed in like "ugh" like that onomatopoeia, and I was like, "Oh, UGH or something." Let me go look at that picture symbol. Yeah, go ahead with your OKLO.
Well, OKLO's going nuts here. It really got excited. They ran it right past the 382. It's headed for the 764. It's going to 58.35 next, and then it's going to stall out just underneath its all-time high, and then run back down to the 382 at 37.88. So get ready to get out, or at least sell half your position in case I'm wrong and it just does something weird, like goes to the 618 and then goes up again. But this is where I would likely see this go. So what? It's almost topped out. I already got in and out of this stock. I thought it was going to stop at the 618, and it just kept going a little higher. So 10% higher, and then 28% lower from where it is now, 35% lower from 58.35. So OKLO is just about ready to peak, and then it's time to rotate into one of the other ones. Here's NNE. How's NNE doing? Oh, same thing. NNE is about peaked, and it already did peak, and it's coming back down to the 27.11. Well, SMR. I've been trading all these. SMR has definitely peaked. It went a little bit over the 764, but that's fine. So I'm waiting to buy this back at the 382 down here at 22.91. So I expect that this is going to drop. Come here, you. I expect this is going to drop another 33% to 22.91, and then I'll buy the heck out of it. And there you go. There's the UEC. Just because I talked about these last night in the show, the nuclear energy is really hot. UEC, they just made their money by, just like Michael Saylor bought Bitcoin, UEC just bought uranium. It already wicked through the 382. So let's see if it comes back to the 236 at 586. Then you want to buy the heck out of that, because from the 586 it'll go to the 1236. 1444. Wow, that's the most I've ever seen UEC for. So from $5.86, it would go 143% higher in this big wave 3 move up. So yeah, lots of fun stuff in the energy area. We talked about.
All right.
Wait, AMC. I'm sorry, I don't mean to hog all the time.
Yeah, I was gonna do AMC because I haven't done that in a while. I saw HEMS there, but AMC looked more interesting to me. So I do HEMS all the time. So we're gonna talk about AMC, and this is interesting how it's getting right back up to a major resistance zone just like that. And that's usually when people are interested in it, when it's right back at a major resistance zone. And 50-week moving average baseline even got the 382 fib right up there at 420. So it had a big recovery from this big 886 down below the golden pocket, right? And if you're curious about that fib, I just do from the low point to the high point up here, and that's just the retrace down here. So basically, it held that higher low from before, and now it's basically approaching this massive resistance zone again. So it's never really successfully gotten above this zone, right? Back here in the past, it tried. Right, it tried to get above the 50, but guess what? The baseline was in the way, and this 480 fib was in the way to reject it. So we are basically back in the same situation where the baseline's getting in the way, and the 50-week moving average is there. And guess what? We got the 420 above and the 480 above that. So we'll see. I'm all about the charts have to prove it to me. So right now, I'm cautious. It's at resistance. So if it can break above, great, prove it. But if you can't, then guess what? It's probably going to go retrace back to lower levels in the threes below.
Yeah, AMC. I just don't like it anymore. It was
It's
a
not
meme
a fun
stock
meme.
for a little bit. It's not a fun meme, and nobody goes to movies anymore. I can't tell you the last time I went to an actual physical theater. I just wait for it to show up on HBO or Disney Plus or whatever.
But what if they buy
Yeah.
4,701 Bitcoin?
Well,
Maybe.
that would help,
Yeah.
but they haven't done that yet, have
No.
This chart looks terrible. It's just down, down, down. Like, kinda like, yeah, just in case, maybe buy some, but, like, not much because maybe it'll go 10x. Yeah. It's like VWAP, and the decadal anchored VWAP says that the volume weighted average price that it should be at is about $46, and it's just, like, way shorted down to here, but I don't know. Well, better charts out there. CTMX.
Yeah, I got Citigroup. I like doing these charts that we haven't charted before. So
Yeah, go ahead.
let's see.
Please.
Citigroup here. I just wanted to point out that it's getting back above all my indicators of the Ichimoku and the SMAs here. Just one thing I wanted to kind of pull out for you guys is a nice little fib from the previous high up here down to this COVID low. And just to focus on this to see where it's at in the retrace, and it got back above that 886. So this is actually a great development for Citibank. So 886, 72.85. I'm going to be watching that for support. It already closed that gap too from the May 5th to the May 12th. It closed it last week. So this is actually really set up to continue its journey higher. And I think as long as 72.85 continues to hold, it'll have the ability to go back to 80.98 and try to break these highs, right? The previous February high, and also going back in time here. Oh, wait, I didn't get the exact top, but doesn't really change anything. It's still above that 886, right? But yeah, stay above. Now it's 74.54 instead of what I said before, right? Because I didn't get the exact top. But yeah, it's above the 886, so it's going to go higher, right? As long as it stays above that 886, it's going to gravitate higher.
All right. This is why the dollar signs are great. Yes, thanks, Fat Chin, because it lets us know that it's an actual ticker. I've got CTMX here. Cytomex Therapeutics is a biotechnology company, drug developer, or whatever have you. These ones can break your heart a lot. I've definitely had my heart broken by them. If it does an ABC back to this wick up here, that'd be like 390 next, which is 81% higher from where it is right now. But you could just take your money off the table, wait for SMR, and take it from 39% higher from the 382. Just wait for it to drop back to 2291. Buy it then, and you can make 140% on SMR, and it won't break your heart the same way that Cytomax might, because it may not do the whole ABC, and it might just go lower, especially if they do another capital, if they do like a dilution. I agree. Lemonade is a sleeping giant. It's pet insurance, right? Pet insurance.
Well,
Americans love
they
their
have all
pets.
kinds of insurance too.
Oh, that's true. I just remember for the pet insurance. Yeah, this is fighting with the 236 boss, and once it gets above it, it's go to at least the 382 at $40.64. So where price is right now, oops, wrong key, 21% higher, and it could go to like the 618 and kind of almost get to the previous all-time high, and then drop back down to the 23.6 at 334.28. But yeah, I like it for at least 21% higher, maybe 52% higher. And actually, that would kind of work out really well because, like, actually, that's not even the all-time high. That's just this recent high. The all-time highs, the chart gets really crazy big, and then that's why I've got these ABCs in brown. If this thing really turns around, the 618 on the fib extensions on the right kind of matches up with where the B bottom would be with an ABC retrace back. So that could be kind of interesting. Maybe that sort of foreshadows where then it goes up to 123.6, back down to 620. I don't know. It looks there's a lot of potential here. Anything below the 23.6 fib, I'd say is a buy as long as it's a chart that looks like it's going to cup and handle its way back up like this. All right, Matt, wants you to take us out here. It's 9:04.
Yeah, I just wanted to finish off with my lemonade that I shared on X yesterday. I made a post about it. So here's that chart. All right, there's the 45-degree angle, this green angle, and the arc here. And guess what? It's back above the 45, but it's underneath the arc. And you can see this blue arc right up here has been a big resistance zone in the past, and it still is. And then you got the bottom of the cloud right there at around $34 as well. So it is getting more and more bullish. And I think as long as it stays above this 31.23, this 382 fib right here, then it will start to break through all of this stuff. But it might take some time to do that. But once it does flip this arc to a support, I think it'll start to gravitate towards the blue level again, which is around 43 or the 50%, $44. So yeah, it's looking better and better. And it's just got a few more resistance hurdles to break until then. So yeah, we can't get to all the requests, but yeah, we'll be watching NVIDIA earnings. We'll see how that behaves, right? See if they can keep the rally going or if it's going to go back and retest support zones. So let's just take it one day at a time this week because we are still range bound for the previous weeks.
Yep. All right. Well, thanks everybody. We enjoyed doing the show for you, and we'll be back again tomorrow.
Yeah. See you guys. Have a great one.
Thursday edition. Bye, Matt.